I want to call off my wedding because my husband is embarrassed about my culture. I'm 26 and getting married next month to my fiance, 28. I moved here from a small village in India 5 years ago, and honestly, I'm still figuring out American culture. When we started dating, he loved hearing about my traditions. He'd ask questions, try my mom's cooking, even attempted to learn my language on Duolingo for like 3 days before giving up. Last year, when he proposed, we agreed on 2 ceremonies. Mine would be first, following every tradition my family expected. His American wedding would be second, at some vineyard his mom picked out that costs $18,000 to rent for the day. The most important part of my ceremony is the Keda exchange. They're thick gold bangles that get welded onto your wrists during the wedding, not like Western rings you can take off. These are permanent. The goldsmith heats them, seals them on, and they stay there for life. In my village, seeing someone's Keda tells you they're married. It's like wearing your vows on your body. I explained this to him maybe 5 times while planning. He said it sounded really meaningful, and he was honored to be part of it. My traditional wedding was last Saturday. We flew my whole family here. Aunties, uncles, my grandmother who's 74 and hasn't left India in 30 years. The ceremony was perfect. The goldsmith spent 20 minutes measuring his wrist, heating his custom Keda, carefully welding it closed while everyone watched. He smiled through the whole thing, held my hand, whispered, "I love you," in my language, which he'd practiced with my dad. My mom cried. My grandmother gave him her blessing and touched his feet, which is the highest respect she could show. That night at the reception, my cousin served him my favorite fruit from back home, chaka, jackfruit. It has this strong, sweet smell that Americans either love or hate. He joked about smelling that every day now, but he was laughing. I told him I felt the same about his breakfast sausages. We were good. He flew back Monday for work. I stayed 3 extra days with family. Wednesday morning, I landed at the airport. He was waiting at baggage claim, gave me this huge hug, asked about my flight. Everything seemed normal. Thursday, we had dinner at his parents' house. That's when I noticed. His wrist was bare. I stared at it while his mom talked about centerpieces. The Keda was gone. There wasn't even a tan line, like he'd removed it immediately. In the car, I asked where it was. In the garage, she said, "I thought it was just for the ceremony, like those flower garlands." I explained again that it was supposed to be permanent. That's literally the entire point. He got quiet. Then, "Babe, I can't wear that to the office. My boss already thinks I'm weird for taking 2 weeks off for weddings. If I show up with some gold bracelet thing, I'll never make senior analyst." I asked if he planned to wear his wedding ring after the American ceremony. "That's completely different," he said. "Wedding rings are normal, professional. It's a lot." I told him the American wedding was off. He actually laughed, thought I was being dramatic, said we'd talk about it when I calmed down. I didn't calm down. His mom called me Friday morning, crying, asked what I'd done to upset her son. I explained that he'd sawed off his wedding Keda after promising to wear it forever. She went silent. Then, "Well, honey, you have to understand American workplace culture. Maybe you could wear yours under long sleeves." I hung up. That afternoon, I found his search history on our shared iPad. He'd Googled how to remove Indian wedding jewelry 3 weeks before the ceremony. Can gold bangles be cut off? Will hacksaw damage gold? He knew exactly what the Keda meant, knew it was permanent, planned to remove it before he ever put it on. I called my parents that night. My dad didn't say anything for a full minute. Then he asked for the Keda back. My fiance refused first, said he'd paid for the gold, which was a lie. My parents covered the entire traditional ceremony, including both Kedas, which cost them $3,200. I told him if he didn't return it by Monday, my uncle, who's a lawyer back home, would handle it differently. The Keda showed up Tuesday in a FedEx envelope. My family had a small ceremony last week. The goldsmith melted down his Keda and reformed it into a pair of jumka earrings for my younger sister. She wore them to her college graduation yesterday. I'm flying home next month, not for a wedding, just to stay. He texted this morning asking if we could start over and do things right this time. I didn't respond. My grandmother called me this afternoon. She said in our language, better to break a betrayal than wear it forever. She's right.
What's the dumbest thing you did that actually worked? During my night shift as a hospital security guard, I accidentally locked myself out on the roof. No phone, no radio, 3 a.m., and I was wearing short sleeves in November. The door required keycard access from both sides, and I'd left mine on my desk. I was freezing, but mostly terrified of getting fired for abandoning my post. The hospital had strict protocols about security presence, especially overnight. After stomping my feet for warmth for 20 minutes, I noticed the helicopter pad lights would activate when motion was detected. They were connected to the hospital's emergency system. I had an insanely stupid idea. I began running in circles on the helipad, triggering the landing lights. Then I sprinted to different corners, creating an obvious pattern. 3 short bursts, 3 long, 3 short again. SOS in Morse code. I repeated this for 15 exhausting minutes, collapsing between rounds, fingers numb from cold. Suddenly, the roof door burst open. The night nurse supervisor stormed out, furious. "Are you trying to give my cardiac patients heart attacks? The monitors at the nurse's station show emergency signals from the roof," I explained through chattering teeth. Her anger melted into disbelief, then reluctant amusement. "That's either the stupidest or most brilliant thing I've ever heard," she said, holding the door. Instead of being fired, I became a legend. The hospital updated their security protocols and installed emergency phones on the roof. They also gave me a new nickname, Morse Code Mike.
My friend called me a scene-stealing wannabe and posted me on social media, so I commented with the receipt and exposed her as a liar. I got invited to my old friend Morgan's wedding. We weren't super close anymore, but whenever we were in the same city, we'd always meet up for coffee and catch up on life. I ordered this gorgeous yellow jumpsuit online for the wedding from a retailer I'd used before. When the package arrived, I was so excited to try it on. But the second I pulled it out of the box, my heart sank. The color was completely wrong. Instead of the bright sunny yellow in the photo, it was this pale, washed-out cream color, almost beige. I immediately started panicking because I'd read all those horror stories about wedding guests trying to upstage the bride by wearing white or anything close to it. I did not want to be that person, so I grabbed my phone and messaged Morgan directly asking what color she was wearing. She texted back saying she was wearing white and asked why I was asking. I sent her a photo of the jumpsuit explaining that this wasn't what I ordered, that it came way lighter than expected, and I was worried it might look too close to white in certain lighting. Morgan replied within minutes. "It looks totally fine. Don't worry about it. If anyone tries to make it a thing on the day, I'll shut them down immediately." I felt so relieved. I trusted her word and figured if the bride herself said it was okay, then I had nothing to worry about. I even bought a backup dress just in case and threw it in my car before heading to the venue. Wedding day arrives. The ceremony was beautiful. Everything went smoothly. I didn't get a single comment about my outfit during the reception. No weird looks, no passive-aggressive remarks, nothing. I actually actually thought I was in the clear. Then I went to the bathroom. I was in the stall when I heard the door open, and two voices I recognized as bridesmaids came in. They were standing right by the sinks talking, and one of them goes, "Oh my god, can you believe that girl in the jumpsuit had the audacity to wear that color?" The other one laughs and says, "Right? Especially after Morgan specifically told her it wasn't appropriate. Like, who does that?" I froze. My stomach dropped. They were talking about me. I finished up, took a deep breath, and walked out of the stall. Both of them went silent and stared at me in the mirror. I washed my hands and said as calmly as I could, "That conversation never happened. Morgan told me months ago that my outfit was fine. If there was actually an issue, she should have said something then." One of them crossed her arms and scoffed. "Sure, we'll believe you when we see the receipts." The other one just rolled her eyes and they both walked out, leaving me standing there feeling humiliated. About an hour later, I saw them huddled with Morgan near the bar. All three of them kept looking over at me and whispering. Then they'd look away and laugh. I felt like I was in high school again. The stink eye they were giving me was unreal. I thought about confronting Morgan right there, but I didn't want to cause a scene at her own wedding. So I just left early and went home feeling awful. The next day I'm scrolling through Facebook and I see Morgan posted this long thank you message to everyone who came to the wedding. Most of it was sweet and normal, but then at the end she wrote, "So grateful for everyone who celebrated with us. Even scene-stealing wannabes couldn't spoil our perfect day." I stared at my phone in disbelief. She was clearly talking about me, but I decided to let it go. Maybe I was being too sensitive. Maybe it wasn't worth the drama. Then one of the bridesmaids commented. She posted this terribly blurry photo of me from behind at the reception, and she'd drawn devil horns and a tail on me in red marker. The caption said, "Some people have no shame." That's when I lost it. I opened my messages with Morgan, screenshotted our entire conversation from months ago, where she explicitly told me my outfit looked fine, and she'd defend me if anyone said anything. Then I commented on her post with all the screenshots. My comment said, "Since everyone keeps asking for receipts, here's the proof that I asked the bride about my outfit months in advance, and she told me it was completely fine. It's a shame she couldn't tell me to my face there was a problem instead of letting her bridesmaids humiliate me in the bathroom and then posting about it online." Within minutes, the comment section exploded. People I'd known for over 20 years started commenting, "Wow, the tea has been spilled." This is what happens when people talk behind your back instead of being honest. Morgan, you owe her an apology. One person did comment that I was being childish and creating unnecessary drama, but most people were on my side. Morgan called me 30 minutes later screaming about how I embarrassed her on her wedding day post. I told her she embarrassed me first by lying to everyone. She hung up on me. 2 hours later, the entire post was deleted. She never apologized, neither did the bridesmaids, but everyone who was at that wedding now knows exactly what happened. Sometimes the best revenge is just telling the truth.